So you were in St. Louis this weekend, right?
Yeah, I was. We spent 3 days in St. Louis. My son was playing hockey. He's
Nice.
just turned 9. He plays it's actually 8U, but he's like the oldest you can be because his birthday is like January 3rd. So he's literally like the absolute oldest you can be to play in this league, which is funny.
So is he big? Is he like a big kid?
Yeah, but he's not like, he's just like a bowling ball. You know, he's like me. He's not that tall.
So he's just stocky.
Yeah, he's just stocky. And
so were they all wearing suits, or was he just gangstered out on his own?
Just him and one other guy. Or one of the other kids. That's all he wanted. He asked for it for Christmas. My mom bought it for him, and he loves it.
What kid asked for a suit for Christmas?
Well, technically, he asked for a tuxedo because he didn't know what a suit was. But
you should have got him a tuxedo T-shirt as a joke.
I was like, "What are you doing with a tuxedo? Going to interviews?"
That's hilarious. He's like, "So, Dad, I watched Step Brothers when you weren't paying attention, and."
Right. I can clear up this whole Pan thing.
Yeah. He's like, I'm going to need a tuxedo T-shirt and a Chewbacca mask. And night vision goggles.
But he worked his butt off. He got second place, nice. Which they played some really, really good teams from Chicago that I would not have expected them to hang with that caliber of team, and they did. And they played really hard. He was so tired. He got home. We got home late last night after he played 4 hockey games, 2 just on Monday, and then we drove 5 hours home. And he went to bed at 10 o'clock, and I was going to let him just stay home from school and rest, and because they're doing like the half in, half out thing anyway. And I don't think he woke up till like 10:30 in the morning. He was so tired.
That's crazy.
But it was a good time. I love trips like that. It's just with the family and hanging out. But I didn't get any shop time in. That's fine.
Yeah. Hey, you'd be proud of my wife, and we paused my son's jiu-jitsu for a little bit, and she wants to put my son and daughter in ice skating, and once he learns how to ice skate, put him in hockey.
It's going to be awesome.
I don't know. I'm pretty actually pumped about it, so we'll see. The thing with my son is, like, we have him in jiu-jitsu because I want him to get tougher. Like, he's a super nice kid, almost to a fault. I'm like, dude, toughen up, like, be mean a little bit, and so, but he doesn't get the concept like it's a sport, like fighting, and like he doesn't understand, like, so he just thinks it's fun because we wrestle all the time, and he's just like laughing and giggling the whole time, right? So when it comes down to, he doesn't get the concept, but when it's like they do something like with a ball, he'd get it and he'd be super aggressive because he's like, oh, I understand, we're playing a different game, I have to put the ball in the thing, and then he goes for it and he's really aggressive with it. So we think something like hockey, where like, once he learns how to skate, it's like you have your stick, you hit the thing into the goal. And he's like, we think it's going to click for him, where he's like, oh, I get it. And he can be a little bit more aggressive. We'll see. I don't know. But he's 5. So it's like, I also don't want to just put him in one thing and then like pigeonhole him. So he's like only does that one thing his whole life, Put him in a bunch of stuff.
That was not my intention either, because I was a 3-sport athlete when I was growing up, baseball, football, and wrestling, and I did those for a long time, like all 3 every year. So it wasn't my intention with him, but it is so hard these days. There really isn't any in-between anymore, like there used to be for us. Yeah. You're kind of all in or you're not, and hockey is so year-round. With the skating lessons and the hockey lessons, it's almost impossible to do it. He wants to play. I did have him signed up for lacrosse, and then Corona hit and canceled it. So if they do it this summer, I'm going to get him in lacrosse. I think he'll really enjoy that.
That's similar to hockey in a sense, right? Like,
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah, I think it's weird that, well, in California it was like that too. Well, you have like the star athletes would be cross sport athletes, but most would just focus on one, right? And here,
right,
the schools are so small that almost everybody plays multiple sports, which is really cool. I'm kind of excited for my kids because like they just went this valley, which only has 120,000 people in the whole county. Like it's a very small valley county. And we had 3 high schools, and then in the same year they opened 2 more. So now there's 5 high schools. So they even split it even smaller. So the high school kids, like, for sport wise, it's great if you really just want to play a bunch of sports. You're not looking for college. I mean, even if you're looking for college, I guess, but kind of cool. I'm excited to watch more than just football or whatever he gets into.
Yeah, we never even had the option to do anything like that. Like lacrosse, no. Hockey, no.
Yeah.
No, you were just doing stuff like lowering dualies that aren't meant to be lowered.
Correct. Yeah, that was just me.
He's like, that's weird. All I did was smoke cigarettes behind the bleachers, and
No. Never smoked a cigarette in my life.
That's good. That's good. I haven't either. I've smoked a cigar, and I was not successful at it.
I haven't
was
even
not
done
good.
that.
I love cigars. I absolutely hate cigarettes. Cannot tell. Like I've never smoked them, but I can't stand the smell of them or anything.
Yeah.
But I've always enjoyed cigars for some reason.
Yeah. Well,
But I didn't start smoking cigars until after I quit dipping. I dipped
dipped?
I started when I was in
either.
I was like 12 years old, I guess, in baseball and stuff. You know, you're bumming it off your buddies and doing stuff. And then when I guess I was around 25 or 26, when my wife was pregnant with my daughter, our first kid, I decided I was going to quit. And I was 1.5 to 2 cans a day at that time. So I was dipping a ton.
So gross.
Copenhagen fine cut. That's all I was doing was dipping. And I quit, and I've been quit for 11 years now. So that's been pretty good.
That's good.
I remember
Your face won't fall off now, so it's plus.
Right, exactly.
Dude. Yeah, dipping's just really, I don't know if it's worse than cigarettes, but and I'm not saying for you.
You don't smell the dip as much, like if you're around somebody.
Yeah, so
I'd rather be around somebody dipping than smoking.
But like
sure.
when people have like the clear water bottles and there's like
that's foul.
It's like
I've witnessed more than one person drink a can.
Oh yeah,
stuff
because people do it in monster cans and like put it in the middle of their thing and then it's gross.
I loved it. I loved it all the way up to the day that I quit. And I tell my wife all the time, I laugh. I was like, there's going to be a point where I don't care anymore and I'm going to start dipping again. I mean, I'll be like 75.
Yeah,
but
say you hit about 70, 75.
Yeah, and you're like,
screw
we're
it.
good here, boys. Time to start dipping again. And I'll be so happy. But I did it for the kids. You know, I didn't want to dip with the kids. And
Did he give you a hot, like when you very first started, unless you can't remember? I know this was decades ago. But when you first started dipping, did it give you a high? That's what actually did it? Or is it just be like, oh, all the cool kids are doing it or my friends are doing it or whatever? And so I just started.
I played baseball. So it was really big, you know. You thought all the major leaguers did it and stuff, especially back then. I guess it's not so much now, but back then it was huge. And I liked riding horses and stuff like that. And my uncles all dipped Copenhagen. So I'd always like go grab 3 or 4 of their cans that were left over. They have a little pinch or 2 left in all of them and like pour them into one can to make my own. So, but I was young, I guess, you know.
You just want that skull ring in your jeans.
That's right.
It's the faded. I'm pretty sure Levi's
right.
just does it for you now. It's like they're like loaded.
My uncle put it in my lip when I was like 4, and I remember it. And I was like, no, not seeing that worked.
Oh, he was that uncle. He was the family's
most certainly that uncle.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, I have a social experience for us. Experiment. I've had a lot of problems speaking. To be on a podcast, I have a lot of problems speaking. It's
we've been thinking about
Englishing.
kicking you off.
So get your phone and pull up Google.
All right, let's do it.
I've been testing this out throughout the day.
Wait, do people listening do it too, or just us?
Sure, go ahead.
Am I going to have to delete my search history after this?
Jesse B's like, make sure you're in incognito mode. You don't want anybody looking at this.
And Google how to build a charcuterie board.
Oh, jeez.
Well, God, okay.
It's going to come up with you because I talked
videos. You want me to hit videos?
That's what I want to know. No, first before you hit videos, just scroll down a little bit to where you get to like the video section.
Ad.
Yeah, you're the first one. Look at that.
Top video,
you
right?
Can see it. Yeah, your top video.
So one thing, I thought that was pretty cool because I noticed that I was the top video when you Googled it. But 2, this is something I've never noticed before. On mine, does it do it on yours? Does it have a breakdown of the sections of the video?
It does.
Yeah.
It says from 46, cut the board about 33 inches for a project. Yeah. And then it says from 206, started to lay out the handle for the board. 3 minutes, dude, and you can scroll over and see exactly where.
It calls them key minutes.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I thought that's the first time I've ever saw that. I need to try it on some other different types of videos and stuff, but I thought more than the fact that my video was the top one. Did I mention my video was the top one? But I like that breakdown of it.
A
I
bunch
thought that
of
was cool.
listeners are like, no.
Yeah.
You're
We
not
Googled
on
it now.
mine.
Well, I grabbed a bunch of, I used my wife's phone. I got my neighbor to do it because I was like, I wonder if it's just because, it's my videos that it's popping up on Google for me.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it personalizes that, with all the cookies and everything.
How did you find out that you were being like the top video on Google? You just had a
what
lot
did
of
I look
Google
at?
hits when you're looking at your analytics, or what?
Yes, I did have that. And I saw where my external was from Google searches. And I think I was looking around on that when I was going through my analytics.
I should
And
pay
then when I
attention more.
Googled it.
I should pay
But
attention.
I thought
to
that
my
video
videos
breakdown
more.
thing was pretty cool.
It is
Yeah.
cool. There's a lot of auto-generated captions now, or whatever. Not captions. What are they called?
Right.
Yeah, closed captions. Right?
Closed captions. Yeah,
Yeah.
CCs.
I noticed that Instagram started to do them. If you have your sound off, they'll automatically start doing them for. I know a bunch of. Well, maybe it's not just Instagram. Maybe it's the people. I follow a bunch of podcasts, and they put segments from their podcast in, and if your sound's on, it'll say auto-generated closed captions or CCs, and then it'll just start having them at the bottom. But then as soon as I click into it and I turn on the volume, they go away. So I don't know if that's an Instagram thing. I assume it would have to be. But
Does it on YouTube also?
yeah, and so it's YouTube's cool. I like the way YouTube does it too. But I didn't know if it was something you had to turn on or what.
Yeah, I don't
not
think I've
sure.
seen that on Instagram. No, I've seen people add them in their stories and videos, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I haven't
Gary
seen
Vee
it
always
as an
has
automatic
text
thing.
over his videos.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So I know Brandon and I talk about it quite a bit, but Jesse, where do you stand on Instructables? Do you ever do Instructables?
I've done one. When it first got out crazy, I was like, I'm gonna post one, just see how it does. And to me, honestly, it's just a time thing. It's like, I don't have time to type this out,
Right.
because you can't
I don't
just
hardly
post
ever
a
do
video.
it.
Because I spend so much time on the video and stuff. It's like, ugh.
Depends on the project, though. I think, like I just did that juice groove jig and put it on there, and it got featured or whatever. And I think stuff like that does well, and shop projects do well. But how to build a side table didn't,
So
something
here's
like
a
that.
question, because I make my own PDF plans, right, for my website. There's nothing that you can link that, right, in the Instructable.
What do you mean?
Yeah, you can. You can link anything you want. They have hyperlinks.
Yeah.
Even like a Google Drive document, PDF document.
Far as I know,
You mean so people can download it?
Mm-hmm.
No, it would you'd have to link it to your website. I
Okay.
think. Oh, maybe.
I'll have to figure it out. I could just
don't
say
know.
it. I could
Yeah,
say
He's
it.
making a face maybe you can. I don't know.
I feel like since that's what they are,
That's what I was saying.
that they may have that option blocked, but that's not something I've ever tried. Now I do link my website to it and stuff.
Right.
Do you guys feel like you get a ton of traction on YouTube because of that?
I do when it gets featured, especially in their email. If it gets featured and it's in those top videos in their email, my latest YouTube video just got featured yesterday, I think, or today.
The
in their email?
charcuterie board, or do you have another one?
No, the quarter
drawers.
board
Oh, yeah,
or
the
drawers
drawers.
method.
Very cool.
Um, It was featured in their email today, and I will see a major jump in the next day or two because of that. I see a lot more. I think, and I haven't really confirmed through the analytics, but it seems like every time that I do one, I get a bigger jump in my Amazon affiliate link purchases because you can hyperlink all of those in there as tools used. And I also think I get a lot of traction to my website from them, which what made me think about it is we were talking about our website analytics earlier today. And I think that I get a lot of my website's traffic from Instructables more than I do YouTube or really anywhere else. Maybe Pinterest, but I don't do a lot in Pinterest, but my stuff does get shared to Pinterest by Instructables.
Today's episode's sponsor is Mirka. They're the pioneers of dust-free sanding.
I've been using my Mirka for over a year, and they just recently sent us all sanders and vacs, and the change for me was the HEPA vac. It is amazing. No dust, super quiet, and it's very healthy because it literally will take all the dust out of the air. nothing escapes. It's pretty crazy, especially if you're using the Abernet paper. Highly recommend it.
So be sure to go follow them on Instagram. It's Merca_USA. Also go follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and across the platforms. I know that they would truly appreciate it. And do us a favor, shoot them a message. Let them know that we sent you. It always helps us out when you let them know that. So
I hired somebody for Pinterest today.
Did you?
Really?
Yesterday.
Is it somebody overseas?
It is.
That's what I figured.
She lives in Bangladesh. No, DIY Huntress uses her and says she did great, so she recommended her to me. And so
she's just uploading all your old stuff there. Is that what she's doing?
She hasn't started yet, or she said she's creating a plan basically. So I haven't heard back from her yet today. So
I'd be interested to hear how that goes.
Right. Well, yeah, I haven't talked to her about like the goal of it really or anything. She just was like, yes, I will do it. I want to come up with a plan and show it to you and see what you think. I'm like, cool. That's what I want. I don't want to have to think.
That's cool.
Just do it. Just do something better than me.
Now, are you hoping for more views to YouTube or more traction to your website off of Pinterest? Or do you care? You're just looking for more traction?
Both.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
I mean, that'd be ideal.
Well, basically, my website is basically just a hub to go to YouTube. Honestly,
so that's what mine is.
There's nothing really on my website. I mean, there's plans, and like I said, since I put my website on Squarespace, and I don't know if that's why or because I actually like tried to push it a little bit or what, but the plan sales have gone up quite a bit, which is good.
Are you using Squarespace to sell them, or are you still using Gumroad?
Gumroad. That's what I'm saying. The only thing on my site on Squarespace is my homepage and the contact page, and that's it. Everything else gets linked out somewhere else.
Yeah.
So for like I want to eventually put a lot of it on there, but for now, it goes to Gumroad, and then like my tools and merch and stuff are all listed on that kit website. It's like kit.co or whatever. It's where you can. I don't know. I don't know what it's like just a hub, but it's like you can almost use that for your website, honestly. And a lot of people probably do, but you can just put like different categories. Like they call it's your kit. Like this is my kit. Like, so I have like categories, like these are the tools I use in the shop. This is my merch. This is my camera gear. And then they can click it and it'll like bring up basically an Amazon store that'll link straight to Amazon or wherever you want it to go.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think it's free too. So
I've tried. I know I talked to Brandon. I think I sent it to both of you guys, but I've been using Beacons instead of Linktree, and it is so much cooler.
So why don't you just link to your website?
Huh?
Why don't you just link to your website?
Because I like to put specific links. So if it's like an affiliate link or something like that they can just directly go into without, I mean, I can make a page on my website and just constantly do that. This is so much easier. It's free. I do like it's so much better than Linktree. So what we're talking about is, so Linktree is a thing, if you don't know, that you can put into your bio on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and it basically just has a bunch of links that you can put in there. So your YouTube channel, your website, your Amazon store, whatever. It's so like it's a big hub, so a bunch of people can see all your channels. Beacons is the same thing, but it's a lot more customizable. It's free. Plus, you can actually embed a YouTube video. So as soon as they click on it, you're automatically getting views on your YouTube video, which is pretty awesome. And you still have all those links. I love it so far. I think it's cool. I think it looks professional too. And
I also really like that it shows the thumbnail and like the actual thumbnail and video of your YouTube video that you link. So when you pull it up, it doesn't just have like the little box with the wording in it, like click to see video. It actually has the video right there. And it shows the thumbnail. I think it's really cool. I really like Beacon a lot more than I did. And no, the podcast is not sponsored by them. Get nothing. Let's talk about this.
What's your email address?
I like it a lot more, and I like that it's more customizable, and I think it just all around looks better than Linktree.
I agree.
Since you sent me the link to it, I've thoroughly liked it. And I like the analytics of it too. the analytics of it are a lot better than Linktree. You can actually see how many times each link is being clicked and everything. So I like it a lot. It's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But I used to have just my website linked to it, Brandon, like we were talking about earlier. But I feel like, I don't know, when people click that link, I'm trying to really funnel down exactly what I'm trying to show them instead of where my website's a lot more broad, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. Yeah, because I like the problem that I have, even just a lot of people just link their YouTube channel, but a lot of times I want to link a specific YouTube channel, and I don't want to keep, like, I want to have the basic YouTube channel on my website there all the time, but a lot of times I want to link specifically to a specific video.
Right.
And I don't know. I like it. I think it works.
Well, that's
out
what I
well.
used to do. Just put only my latest video in my. I'm talking about Instagram too, obviously.
Yeah.
In your bio, you can only put one link. So I used to do like, check out my latest YouTube video, and I'm like, this is not like I need to get more traffic to my website more than my latest video, because the amount of people that go and click that link are so little. Yeah. Like, I feel like most of the people that are going to watch your YouTube video from Instagram follow you on YouTube, and so you just say go check it out on YouTube, and they'll just go to their YouTube app, and your subscription will pop up, and there you go.
Yeah. Right, because that stupid link will not take them to the app. It takes them to like the web browser. Instagram. That's so freaking annoying.
Yeah, and then when you
don't want you to
like
leave
a video, you have to sign back in.
Yeah,
I never sign
not
in,
happening.
so I don't like any videos.
Right,
I hate it. Especially on your guys' is like, I feel obligated. I'm like, yeah, I need to like this video, and if it's through Instagram, I'm like, they ain't getting my like. Sorry. And I never go on YouTube or redo it. It's like,
do you ever watch YouTube on your TV?
Yeah,
I do.
Do you ever notice it doesn't show like the views or an option to like the video or anything like that?
Interesting.
At least
never paid attention.
It doesn't. Well, maybe it's just the way I don't know, because it's through. I think the one I watch it on is actually through Xfinity, so maybe that's why. Like the app is provided by the cable provider. Maybe that's why.
It's a lot more basic. Yeah, almost. Well, because I don't know what you guys do for TV, but like I don't know anybody that
Xfinity, Comcast, Xfinity, whatever you want to call it.
So I just do YouTube TV. I love it, but
the same.
It's very similar to YouTube, like the layout and everything, and it's fantastic. Though that's what I do, and I think they try to make YouTube on the TVs, like the actual YouTube app on the TVs, very similar to the YouTube TV app. Because I feel like it's gotten closer or whatever, but they're both very similar to each other.
Yeah, and it's starting to get to where you can like subscribe to, like now they have what is it? Is it Discovery Plus or whatever, with like HGTV and all that on there?
Yeah.
And it's like it's getting to the point now to where it's almost more cost effective to just cancel the cable and then have Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus, if that's what you're into, and like just whatever, and then you can like really funnel down what you want to watch rather than pay $150 a month for a bunch of crap you're never going to turn on anyway.
I 100% agree.
I didn't even know that was a thing, but what it is kind of cool, like through Xfinity at least, because my mom is out in in the trailer, and so I gave her my Fire Stick. Well, it actually will communicate with Xfinity as well, and you can download the app for like all the streaming services like Disney Plus and whatever. And if you have Xfinity and pay for the cable, you can also use the streaming portion of it on the Fire Stick. So she gets to watch everything that I watch on cable in the house out there, even though it's not linked. It's kind of crazy. I didn't even know that was the thing until I started messing with it. I was like, oh, that's cool. Because you can like watch it anywhere.
I like YouTube TV a lot, and then I just have the specific stuff like what you're talking about, Brandon, like that I can stream from if the HBO app or something, which I can turn on and off when Game of Thrones was on. I just turn it on and pay for it through Game of Thrones, and once the last one played on it, I just cut it off.
Okay, side conversation. Game of Thrones. Yeah. Did the last season completely ruin the whole series for you?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Did it just ruin it? What'd you say?
So I'm gonna go to the bathroom while you guys talk.
That's
about
fine.
this.
So this is worth it. We'd rather you leave anyway. So so the last season, or even the last 2 seasons, but the last season, did it just ruin the series, or did it just, were you just like rolling your eyes the whole time?
It didn't ruin the series, but it really didn't do it for me either.
No.
Like you needed closure in it, so it at least gave you closure.
Yeah.
But it was not what I wanted or expected after such an insane and amazing show.
Yes.
It was mailed in quite a bit.
God, it was horrible. It was like,
you could tell the defining moment when they ran out of the book.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
you know
for sure.
I mean? Once the book ended and they went beyond that, you could tell that defining moment.
It all changed. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Oh, we won't get crazy into it. We don't do any spoilers in case it's been 4 years, Brandon, and you still haven't seen it.
I won't ever watch it.
Dude, Game of Thrones is one of the best series of all time.
I watched like 3 episodes, and I was like, no.
I've started Sopranos over again. Speaking of best stuff ever.
Really? Okay, so I've heard a couple opinions. I heard if you watched it back in the day when it came out, you love it. If you watch it now, it doesn't hold up to what today's TV series standards are.
I watched it like 3 years ago, probably.
The whole series?
No, 3 episodes.
Oh wait, of Game of Thrones or Sopranos?
To what? Sopranos.
Jesse said he just started watching The Sopranos. He just said he started watching The Sopranos, so that's what I was talking about.
Brandon, you got to keep up, bro.
Gosh, man.
I did. You said we won't get too deep in it because it's been 4. I wasn't really listening to your conversation. Yeah. Then I heard you say we won't get too deep. No.
All right.
No, I haven't either.
You're just out of this conversation.
Yeah. There was a long period of time where I didn't watch any like TV, really.
I did not watch Sopranos until a couple of years ago, and I watched it all the way through and thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm watching it over again. But all of that time period is very familiar to me anyway, so I guess it didn't matter.
Because this is based in the 1920s.
Hey, kiss my ass.
No, it's based in the 90s, right? That's when it's actually based, or 80s?
I think the 90s.
Is it? That's what I thought. I thought it was the 90s.
I think it starts in the early 90s.
Yeah. I don't know. I think shows have overtaken movies, right? Like 100%. Series. Yeah.
Well, they're a freaking hour long, each one of them. They're as long as movies were, back in the 90s.
Well, there's so much more in depth. Like movies, you just go because you're like, yeah, you can see all this. It's like now the shows, they're pouring way more money into the shows, and the production value is the same as movies were, better than movies, and you get so much more time to develop characters. I love it. There's so many shows that, like the Viking show that I just finished. Vikings, it just finished the last season. There's like 9 seasons or something like that. It was fantastic. It was so good.
I stopped watching Vikings after a certain character died. I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh, dude, but you gotta watch. You gotta watch through that for next season because you end up loving the 4 brothers.
Really?
Dude?
Yeah,
dude. What's it? Well, I forget the one that's crippled. Oh, Ivar, dude, he's so evil. He's like there's you end up liking him at the end, but there's a season where he's like Joker level evil, where you're like, oh, dude, this guy's insane. Yeah, and it gets really cool, but it's crazy. I don't ever see a movie anymore that I'm like, wow, that was just. I mean, there's a few movies that just blow me away, but I think it's rare. For now, I just get entrenched into shows a lot more.
It's because there hasn't been any movies for 2 years.
Well, yeah, that's what it feels like.
Or a year,
do you know what movie I watched on the plane? It's called 1917. You guys seen that yet?
Nope.
Oh, the war movie where it's one continuous shot?
Yes.
Amazing.
I
watched that on a plane as well.
For people that work with cameras, just like the whole thing blew my mind. There's like 3 cuts in the whole series, in the whole movie that you can actually tell. I don't know if there's more. I don't know. But
are you sure that there's 3 cuts? I feel like there. Oh, maybe yes, there was.
Because he goes to sleep and he wakes up. So there's that, and then there's some
exactly
other ones.
Right.
But there's like 3 cuts in the entire movie, so it's just like one shot with a guy running around, and it's the whole movie is 2 soldiers in World War I have to meet up with another like group of soldiers that are about to charge into battle, like across the trenches, and they're basically charging into an ambush, and one of them's it's their brother, and so they're just trying to go 4 miles. So they're running through these trenches through like these crazy area in World War I, but the fact that they just follow him with a camera the whole time, but it doesn't feel like Cloverfield. I don't know if you ever
I was
seen
just
that.
going to say that was the worst movie.
Cloverfield's jerky, and it's supposed to be like a handmade thing. It's not like that. It's so smooth.
This is on a gimbal, and but it's one continuous shot of one camera. It's not like a bunch of different camera angles, and they follow them without all of that cell phone style running around crap. It is,
and it's
unbelievable.
Not boring either. It's one continuous shot, but it's continuously like the pace is quick. The story's great, dude. I loved it. It blew my mind when I watched it, and I think it has to do with the fact we edit videos too. Yeah, I'm just thinking about like. I assume it'd be even harder to edit, but in a weird way.
It has to be. Well, I mean,
but it's weird because you don't have cuts. Like it's like one cut, so it's just audio and coloring and stuff. But
also, you have to think of the fact like how many takes there are, and how do you make that look seamless? I mean, I think about how many takes it gets me to do a freaking intro. You imagine how many takes it took them to do a war movie, and it looks like there is no. Like, it does not appear that there are any takes. It's so weird.
I wonder how many actual cuts there were, right? Because there's 3 that you see, but there's, like you said, there's no way they did an hour, probably an hour and 20 minutes. It wasn't a very long movie.
Right.
But, which I'm glad it was perfect. But it was an hour 20 minutes. It's like, there's no way you did all that in one cut. Like, as in, like, one day we're like, hey, we're just going to hit start for the next hour we're filming. Then we're all going to go home. It's just like, that's not how it's going to be. But that's what it felt like.
I mean, there's planes crashing and bombs going off and all kinds of stuff. Like, it's crazy.
Cool. It's really cool.
You got to watch it, Brandon. Highly recommend it.
Hey, guys, what's up? This is Nate Warner with Creative Grain. I had a quick pellet grill question for you, or pellet question, rather. So I use a Traeger brand gourmet blend from Costco. It works pretty well. It's pretty reasonable. And I put it in the hopper and use it for everything, you know, hot dogs, hamburgers, chicken, jerky, smoking, steaks, everything. I know some guys are really into swapping out their pellets for different types of meat, you know, cherry, hickory, mesquite pellets. I don't do that. And I was curious if you guys do it, if you highly recommend it to get the optimum flavor and cooking profiles from your meats. So, or maybe just use something like what I do, some blend that you like. I was curious your thoughts on that. You know a lot more about pellet grilling than I do. So, yeah, that's it. Love watching you guys. Take it easy. Stay safe out there. Happy New Year.
Yeah, so this makes me excited because we went through the whole podcast last time without talking about barbecue, I don't think, at all, which is very sad to me. Very sad. I'm smoking pork.
That's not true. That was one of your goals.
What? Oh, yeah, it was like 2 seconds, so it doesn't count. Anyway, so I don't know about you guys. I do what he does. I literally just throw in something and I smoke it till the hopper's gone, and I refill it with whatever I have. I do not care. The only one I've ever heard, I don't know if JP, because you're more into it, well, is apple. If you have an apple one, don't put it with chicken because it's super strong. What? And then mesquite as well, I think.
That's what I always do with chicken.
Really?
Apple.
Maybe I'm totally wrong on that one. One of them says, is it mesquite? Don't do it with chicken?
No, mesquite's good with chicken.
Really?
I think
I've heard there's one pellet that's ultra smoky. That if you do it with poultry.
On the Traeger app, when I was looking up chicken wings or something, the recommended pellets were apple. Or maybe on the rub, maybe the poultry rub, I think it says pair it with apple pellets.
Maybe I'm just off. Maybe
like
I'm opposite. That like I don't know. Anyway.
For being honest, I've tried like 4 different ones, and I can't tell a difference in any of them.
Me neither.
They all taste the damn same.
Exactly. So Jesse, I know there is some meat to smoke combinations you want to avoid, but that is going to be more in when you're using actual cut wood in an actual like wood burning smoker,
because it's a lot more smoke, right?
Exactly. And you know, while I have always, of course, if you've listened to this podcast more than one time, know that I'm a big proponent of the Traegers and the pellet smokers. I like them a lot for all around use, but I don't find that the type of wood smoke is very prevalent in the meat when it comes to like the different kinds. I use a gourmet blend as well, or a competition blend, whatever you want to call it. for everything because I kind of went through the gambit of different types of woods and pellets and couldn't tell a difference. Yeah. I really could tell a difference when I was using my older smokers that, I put big chunks of wood in and stuff. I always could tell the difference in those, especially with hickory and cherry. I always try to use a cherry when I did ribs and stuff, give them a nice color as well as flavor because of that smoke. But with the pellet grills, I haven't seen enough of a change in taste from that smoke. Yeah. I don't know why. With it doesn't. But I thought about here recently when I'm getting back into doing some smoking and stuff, which is kind of warming up a little bit. So I'll start doing it a lot more now. I think I'm gonna get one of those smoker boxes to put extra pellets in to go on the grate and to light it to create more smoke when I want to get more smoke and start experimenting with that a little bit. And then perhaps when I start adding that extra smoke in there, then they may, you may be able to start tasting it more. So I'm going to try that as I kind of move forward. I've seen some people use them from time to time on different types of grills, not pellet smokers, but I think I'm going to try them out just to add some more smoke. But I wouldn't worry about it too much if you're just doing it normal.
Yeah, I think the only one that I've noticed a little bit of difference in is the Texas beef blend. It seems like it was a stronger flavor, but it's
would it have in it?
I'm sitting here looking at it. It has oak, mesquite, and pecan.
Yeah, that's right. So this is what I read because I knew something was chicken. So I just pulled it up. This is from lakesidesmokers.com, but I saw it other places too. Yeah, this one underneath says the same thing. So it says, what woods are not good for smoking chicken? Mesquite. Mesquite has a strong, smoky, concentrated flavor that can overwhelm chicken. Cedar has a strong flavor that is good for fatty fish like salmon, but is not recommended for poultry. And oak. Oak is great smoking for beef, but can overwhelm poultry. So
I never tried it with chicken. I just tried it. I think the only thing I used that for was tri-tip and maybe ribs. But other than that, I used the Traeger signature blend, which is hickory, maple, and cherry.
Yeah.
And I just use that for everything.
I don't use mesquite ever, so.
You never use mesquite?
I don't like it that much.
I think I have one bag and I haven't used it yet. But I don't do a ton of. No. What'd you say?
Just throw it away.
Well, I'm going to use it for like beef and stuff. I think that's going to be good.
Yeah.
I have like I said, I'm smoking a pork butt tomorrow. I'm excited for that. I haven't done a pork butt in a while.
I think I want to get one of those pizza things.
I'm not going to let it sit in the cooler, Jesse, for like 12 hours after you cook it. It's so weird.
And you ain't doing it right.
It's not 12 hours.
No, it's like 2 hours though, right?
3 or 4.
Oh God, that's so excessive. So you take like an 8-hour smoke, take an 8-hour smoke to like a 12-hour smoke.
It's not excessive.
It is, because I'm not waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to eat at 4 o'clock at night, dude. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna happen.
No, what time are you gonna eat?
Well, you just said it's an 8-hour smoke, right? Mm-hmm. And then you add another 3 or 4 hours on.
Yeah, so I smoke it through the night. So I'll put it on at 11 o'clock or so before I go to bed. And then get up in the morning whenever it's done, and then wrap it and throw it in the cooler. It's ready to go, early dinner or whenever you want, really.
Oh man, I don't know. Anyway, I just smoke it for 8 hours, and I let it rest for about 30 minutes to an hour, and it's usually fine.
Killing me, Jesse. No. Give me 2 hours in the cooler. Just give me 2 hours and tell me what you think. No.
Because I'm going to smoke it.
I love the flat out no.
No. Well, I'm going to smoke it. Yeah, I'm going to smoke. I got to put it on at 8:30 tomorrow morning anyways to make sure that it's done by like 5 o'clock, right? So I got to put it on at 8:30.
You get up at 5 anyway.
I know, but I do stuff in the morning, man.
Yeah, and, turn the smoker on and get the pork butt on there.
Yeah, well, I'm going to do that at
8:30.
Right before I take my kids to school. And there's a weird UFC fight on tomorrow night in the middle of the week because we're recording this on a Tuesday. So there's one, and it's on at 10 a.m. my time, which is weird. But we're just not watching it. We're going to watch it at night. Yeah, it's in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, that makes sense.
But then the one on Saturday, which is still in Abu Dhabi in the exact same place, is on at 8 o'clock at night here. It's like,
Right, it's because it's prime time, because it's $1 bazillion to watch it. And I will be watching it, but it's going to be $1 bazillion.
At 3 a.m.
I am paying all $80 or whatever it is. Because they bumped up the price. So now instead of $65, it's like $70 a pay-per-view now this year.
Jeez. They're not getting anybody in the stands. They got to make money.
No, they do have people in the stands now. They have 2,000
usual
in a huge arena.
Yeah, in a 30,000 person arena.
Yeah, I'm sure those tickets are crazy expensive too.
So did you see Dana White's tweet or response to a tweet about hacking it? So he put out a tweet about the fight, and then some idiot responds back. He's like, "Can't wait to hack
stream
it,
this
get it
illegally.
for free. Stream this illegally or whatever." And his response with that was, "I got something for you MFers this year." And it just left it at that. And everybody's like, what do they got this year? Like what, like, what are you going to do to combat that? I'm very interested to see.
Yeah. It's funny. So a lot of people do it on Reddit, right? The forums, they'll have like a link, and then everyone finds there apparently was a big MMA forum, and people would just post the illegal stream link there. So if you like just wanted to watch the pay-per-view, you could just go to this forum. Everybody knew it. One of the guys I listen to, his name's Brendan Schaub. He's an ex-MMA fighter in the UFC, and now he's a comedian. But I like his podcast, so I was listening to it.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's so funny. I've seen him like 3 times live. He's so funny. So he's the one that ruined that Reddit stream, because he was like on his podcast, who, his biggest podcast or one of his is called Below the Belt. It's all about fighting. And so on the thing, he's like, I'm not paying $65 for this. I'm gonna probably go on Reddit and just stream it illegally. But he says that on his podcast, and it gets hundreds of thousands of views, on YouTube alone, just all the podcasts. It's like, so apparently as soon as he said that, like within a week, UFC contacted Reddit, and Reddit shut down all of those forums. No one can stream it illegally through Reddit anymore. And so everyone was pissed at Brendan Schaub. They're like, what the hell, dude? Like, we had something good going. So, but anyway.
One, I always pay the money, but
so
they are way too expensive.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Do you watch it by yourself?
Out of control.
The reason I quit watching it. It was like, I'm not paying
I try to get a couple of guys over
every time.
Yeah. Well, for us, we have a group of 4 that always do it. Like my brother-in-law, me, my father-in-law, and my grandpa-in-law, my wife's grandpa. So it's us 4. We all just split it. So it ends up being like, well, it used to be $15 or $17 each, which isn't too bad.
Right.
And it's once a month, right? Is the pay-per-view usually. So it wasn't too bad if you split it 4 ways, but now it's $70, which is only $5 more or whatever, but it still sucks.
Yeah.
And you have to pay the $10 a month for ESPN Plus too.
Right.
Yeah.
Quick question for you guys. Would you guys ever tackle a project like that? Subway tile all the way around the top? The follow-up to that, I did it twice. Gray first and then white. And I think the white looks better. What do you think? It's Utah white.
Top Google search, Utah white artistic tile.
Oh, that's actually what it's called?
That's what it's called. I thought
that's hilarious. I was just we all went to different
We're
places.
definitely the guys that ask about tile.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, ask the woodworkers about tile.
So would I tile like a huge job like that? No, I would not do that. I do have to tile coming soon, and I actually have a very nice table or a tile saw.
Where'd you get it from?
Oh, it's a Delta tile saw. It's
Is
a
it?
10-inch. It's
That's
a
weird.
model 96 110.
Retail prices.
It is. You can find it at Floor and Decor or online. Anyway, that's all true, by the way. I do have to tackle a project downstairs. Our downstairs bathroom's horrible. Like, we did all the floors everywhere 2 years ago, right? Except for this stupid bathroom. And it's been like this for 2 years, and it's like sticky linoleum still, and it's peeling up. It's so ugly. I got to do that this winter. After, I think it's going to be the first thing I tackle after my bedroom series that I'm doing right now. And so once that's done, I'm going to do tile, but it's just going to be on the floor. And then that's it.
Are you doing a YouTube video of it?
Think so.
Sweet. And you can get all the tile guys to tell you what you did wrong.
Yeah, no, see, the thing is, I do very minimal, like,
Let me tell you, tile guys are ruthless.
Yeah. Well, drywall guys, paint guys.
Oh, yeah. All the specialties.
Yeah.
Roofers,
electricians,
framers.
Dude.
We'll get off on this in a second because I have a whole tangent on this as well.
Okay. Let me tell you
recent videos.
How many tiles I've laid in my life? 0. You know how many I'm going to lay? 0.
You haven't done backsplash or anything?
No.
See, I've done backsplash. It actually worked out pretty good.
I put down those, like you said, the sticky linoleum squares. That's about it.
You're very talented.
Thank you.
I drank beer and watched a guy do one time.
Yeah, I paid my buddy to do our bathroom.
It's not as hard as well, first of all, there's some spots I definitely messed up on. And I wish I kind of want to fix. But for the most part, the backsplash I put in, for my first time doing it, I was pretty proud of myself. Even when I go, and most people are like, "Oh, that's cool backsplash." I'm like, "Thank you."
You're like, you stay back
also,
here.
our paper towel holder is right there because that gap is way too big compared to all the other lines. That's 100% true. It's right by our sink, and we put the paper towel holder right in front of it because the gap is just a little bit bigger than all the other lines, and it bugs me so much.
How straight are your outlets?
Oh, they're about that straight.
I was about to say, if your tile work is anything like your outlet work,
dude, I need to find a picture of the kitchen outlet that I sent to doing the electrician stuff, and the one that you had to turn on the light to get the oven to work. I got to send you a picture of that, dude. There's many wires crammed into this freaking box. And I tried to, as soon as I always take a picture because it's like, okay, then I can maybe help track it back if I mess it up. Like I pull the wires apart and then I can help do it. So I take a picture of it. I sent it to John. I always forget his last name. Ayala. So I sent it to him and he's like, "What the hell is that?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I don't know. There's so many junctions in that behind it. And it was crazy. I need to find it and friggin' post it again, but." Anyway, that's much tile I'll probably be doing in a while. It's just that bathroom.
Well, to answer his question, the answer is no, I wouldn't. A, because I've never put tile in. I want to try it because I feel like I can do it. It's just not something that I've wanted to tackle. And B, I'm not not that looks bad, but I'm not a fan of tile going like entire walls. Like that went all the way up to the ceiling, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I remember old school.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. But I do feel like that I would rather tackle tile on a wall versus tile on the floor for some reason.
What?
Like you'd rather do a shower?
How does it stay? Yeah. Does it just stay? Like I've seen people put tape over tile that's on the wall, to hold it up. I think that's
an adhesive grout.
No.
Yeah. That's what grout is. It's not grout, it's thin set.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but it's not, I don't know. Apparently it sticks because it doesn't move, but it seems like.
So thin set sticks pretty fast.
We're so smart about this.
Know nothing. Nothing about tile.
I don't know anything either.
Desire to learn.
I'm not making fun of you.
Hey guys, we're on the verge of getting a tile sponsorship right now, okay?
Right? We'll do drywall next week.
Yeah, so... it's quick set, thin set, I think is what I used, and it sticks pretty freaking fast. Like the backsplash I threw up, you put it on, and as soon as you put on, it's it sticks to it, and you're like, sweet. You just kind of move on. I know that they also use those little clips. I'm sure you guys have seen them in some of the videos. People do tile in a thing,
right?
But they put the little clips behind it. It's a spacer, and then
you just break it off.
Yeah, and then you spin on the top and it levels everything, so everything's the exact smoothness, and then afterwards you just go through with a rubber mallet and knock them all off. Pretty cool. Yeah. I need to eventually, my wife wants me to redo our shower too. She has so many projects for me. It's ridiculous. But
you have fun with that.
Yeah, dude, I probably won't be doing that for a while.
I want to do our shower. I have one of those insert showers, and I don't like it. And it takes up that insert's so wide, not wide,
Yeah.
but like from the wall to the wall, you know.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest explanation ever. From the wall to the wall.
He's like, so
From the
wide. It's
windows.
like from one wall to the other wall. It's like that's every shower.
Anyway, I feel like if you take that thing out and put in tile just on the wall, you gain a lot more room in the shower.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I would assume.
The
I wanna
thickness of
put
the
in
walls of those inserts is what I meant. Are so take up so much more room.
Yeah, I want to put. I hate shower doors because I feel like shower doors enclose you in so much. I mean, if you have a huge shower, did I say closet door? I meant shower door. I don't know. Anyway,
You said
the glass door,
something.
right? Those glass doors. I feel like you have to have a massive, big shower to have a glass door without making it feel like it's like super tight. So every time we go to a house, I think our last house they had two. I took both of them out because I hated them. I was like, I'd rather have a curtain rod than a freaking those old janky glass doors from the
sliding
90s.
doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
Just got another YouTube comment to segue what I was going to say. I'm sorry, Brandon. What I was going to say a minute ago, we were talking about how you get the YouTube comments or the comments from people about experts on tile and whatever. So
yeah.
I am in the middle of getting 1,000 of them from people from Europe every time that I use a dado blade. Every single time that I use a dado stack. You can go look at my videos on Instructables, on anything, even on Instagram.
Calling it something wrong?
No. Just it's illegal there. And they have to tell me. Every single person from Europe has to tell me that it's illegal there and they can't have them. And
that
I'm
weird?
sorry, but I don't care.
Right.
Is it weird that's illegal?
You should just start pulling out your guns. How about this? Is this legal there? No,
Well, I
I
mean,
still
like-
have it.
I understand. But like, I don't understand the relevance to the video. Then why are you watching a video about dado stacks? Like, I don't need
Just
you
to tell you
it's
that
literally
it's
labeled
illegal.
how to, like, everything you need to know about a dado stack. And then you felt like you needed to watch it and then tell me that it's illegal. And I have 1,000 comments on it. They're just all the time.
Somebody commented on mine that I was using dado stack on. I think it was on my assembly table or something. And they were like, what did he say? He said, if you just put on two 24 tooth ripping blades, it does the same thing and it's much cheaper than a dado stack. I was like,
I get the same thing. I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
never heard of that before, but I guess it's fine. I don't know if that's probably the smartest idea, but I don't know why. I guess it would work,
Yeah.
but whatever.
By the time you went and bought two.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he said 8-inch ones or something, 7.5-inch ones. I don't remember.
So I have, I always get, I think on my trailer video, I have 5 people that claim that my trailer that I remodeled was theirs at some point.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Because every
they're like,
trailer in
"That
the
was my
80s
trailer."
painted the same color.
They're like, I live in Idaho. I sold that to somebody, and that was my trailer. I'm like, cool. Like, I have no
Want to
idea.
buy it back?
And no, but then there's like somebody else that's like, I'm from Utah. Like, that was my trailer. I sold that to somebody, and like, that's awesome that you remodeled. I'm like, well, you and this guy have an issue because, and I have 5 people that have claimed that it's their, it might be 4, but still, it's like, my goodness, dude. Like,
Start a
how
support
about-
group.
Yeah, I was like, how about this trailer company just made a shit ton of the exact same trailer and sold them? And it's probably not any of yours.
That's not possible.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's everyone's like, that's it. That was mine. It's like, okay, all right, whatever.
That's hilarious. So before we get too far off, I was going to say, am I the only one who, and I probably am, but when I was younger and had no money, I was always like, God, I wish I had money. I would just pay somebody to do this crap and it would be done like perfect. And then you start digging into contractors' work and you're like, oh my God, this is horrific. Like,
Yeah.
in my brain, when I was younger, I'm just thinking, well, you pay this guy who does it for a living and it's going to be done right. And then, but the more you get older and start paying people to do stuff, you're like, wait a second, this looks horrible and I could do a way better job.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that's has gone through
That's why I
this
started
process?
woodworking. I
Completely
was
agree.
like, that's why I started building coffee tables. I was like,
Right.
I'm not spending this much money for a coffee table.
Yeah,
I'll
but
build it.
I mean, like, that's what I'm saying is, like, I always did it myself or, like, helped my dad do it, and we just kind of did what we could. But then I was like, when I get older and I have money, I'm just going to pay somebody that would be done perfectly. But then you start paying people, and you look back and they're like, what the heck? Was this guy drunk? What was happening? You know?
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. But I usually pay people to do stuff if there's no way that I can learn how to do it. That's when I pay people, to do stuff. Like, AC work or something. Like, I'm not going to Google that and figure that out. I'm going to pay a guy. So that way when it doesn't work right, I got somebody to blame other than myself.
Yeah. Usually they'll come out and fix it or something. Yeah.
Right.
Same thing with like plumbing, like depending on how serious the plumbing issue is.
Well, that's why I paid my buddy to do the bathroom, because it needed like a lot of work. And it's a tile shower, so the floor pan of that is not just like, oh, just go run down and grab one and throw it. It's like a whole thing. Like, he had to like put down whatever the backer stuff is, paint it with this red shit, I don't remember what it's called, and then put down a shower liner and then put in a mortar bed. And I'm like, I'm not doing all that. That's way too much.
Yeah. And I have a feeling with how crappy my house is, because I have a feeling that my shower that is that my wife wants us to redo, I feel like if I tear out the tile and stuff, there's going to be so much crap underneath I'm going to have to fix.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that I didn't even want to attempt it, because the reason I had to have it done was because the shower leaked, because the last guy didn't do it right. So I'm like, I'm not even going to attempt that. I've never done tile of any kind or shower work, and I'm not going to try now.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was weird that, I used to think that way, and now I'm like, well, maybe I should try it myself first, because a lot of the work I've seen is less than satisfactory.
I try to Google everything or YouTube everything before I pay somebody at all. And usually I can find out what it is. Right now I have a coolant leak in my truck, and I got to fix that, and it took me forever, but I figured it out. And because it was like leaking from way up top, just from like where it was connected to the reservoir, and then it was leaking down the belt and then coming down and then dripping down here, and then it would go across the pan on the bottom and go the other direction and then drop on the other side. So I kept looking at the wrong spot. I finally was able to track it down, and now I need to buy it, and it's like a $30 part. It's like, thank God.
Yeah, I definitely
if I took that somewhere.
I definitely don't have people work on my cars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, it's just for everything that I can't like spend. It's mostly like, why don't I do Pinterest? I don't have the time. Right. It's for me. It's just something that I cut. Like, I have a list of things I want to do that probably will help my business, whatever. At some point, it's like, I got to cut that out. It's just not worth spending that much time in. I got to focus on other stuff. Right. And so I've done that a lot. And cars is one of those for me. It's just like, I don't have time to like sit there and focus on most of it. This is something that I was able to actually just research on my phone, and I finally figured out, and was able to look and like, oh, finally, but it took me like 3 winters. I just keep filling up antifreeze, and it's like there's so many spots like but it only happens in the wintertime because it's a rubber tube that's worn down. Yeah. And what happens is, like, in the summertime, it gets more flexible, right? And it'll like seal better. But when it's freezing temps, it hardens up, and so it leaks out of it. Yeah. And anyway, it's been annoying. So fixing that.
I don't mind people to pay to work on my cars these days because of the what are you doing?
I was gonna do a cut on the podcast, and then you started talking.
What are you doing, Brandon? You're so weird. Nobody does that.
I didn't know if you had like a magic wand.
Yeah, I just got done watching Harry Potter. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You don't cut. Jesse cuts. He's the director.
Yeah, I do that.
We look at him.
Come on,
sorry.
You're the talent. I'm the producer.
I'll stick to my not doing anything for this show.
You're welcome.
It's better that way.
Yeah. But I had to stop working on cars when they went to like major electronics and stuff. Cause it was out of my mindset. I used to love doing it back, when I turned 16 in the late 90s.
The 20s. Model A's came out.
I turned 16 in 98. It wasn't that bad.
You was kind of crazy.
I was driving an 86 Chevy Silverado and I could work on the thing, you know?
Yeah, because it's simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. They, my brother-in-law works for the state highway patrol, and he had to deal with a fatal accident. And it was a Tesla. And he sent me pictures. And he's like, yeah, Teslas are cool until you get in a crash and the batteries catch on fire. Because, like, the whole bottom of the car is like the battery, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, dude, these people had no chance. Apparently, that thing exploded as soon on crash. The battery caught fire, exploded, and just killed everybody inside. And he sent me the pictures of, like, basically there's no car left. Yeah. It was just the frame on the floor, and I was like, oh, I don't know about this, man. Right. That seems uber sketchy, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like it's weird. But if you think about it, remember when like cell phone batteries and stuff were blown up? Like,
that's right. I totally forgot the Samsung. It was on planes, they were catching fire and crap randomly.
The notes.
It's
hilarious that
so think of that on a large scale.
Right. Well, they make like when I was used to be into RC cars, that was just coming out with like LiPo batteries and stuff, lithium batteries for them, and you had to. Well, you didn't have. Obviously, it's not like against the law, but they sell like these little bags that you charge the battery in because they would like catch on fire so often. So like you put them in these bags that are like fireproof, and if it did it in the bag, then it just contained it to the bag, and that was it.
Oh, that's so sketchy.
And then if you what do they call it? I don't know what you call it. Not decharging, but like if you have it in the car and like the motor's pulling too much power and it pulls the charge out of the battery too quickly, it got way too hot and like swelled and would catch on fire and stuff. It was pretty crazy.
I think it's funny with that phone thing where like Samsung they start catching on fire. I love everybody just forgets. Thing. Well, I know, but it's like everyone just like was like, it's okay.
Yeah, like, let's move on.
They're still
It'll be better next time.
Yeah, they still have the second most bought like phone in the world, right? It's like iPhone and Samsung,
right?
And didn't hurt them. I'm sure it did, but you know, not to the point where it like ruined their company. It's crazy. Catch fire on planes or whatever.
Hey, speaking of catching fire, has anybody ever had? I don't want to get too far into the subject. I know it's been over an hour, but ever had? When they're staining stuff, it spontaneously catch fire.
Dude,
this just happened. My friend did.
Yeah, I know a person has happened to as well.
That's what not to me, but what kind of stain was it?
I have no idea.
This was actually Rubio, not stain.
Oh, really?
Because Rubio is boiled linseed oil based.
Yeah, that's what.
So he was like using it. I built desktops for their office at his. It didn't catch on fire, but it like smoked real bad and made the shop all super smoky. And they had went to lunch, so if it would have been longer, it probably would have caught on fire. But it was like he said it had this whole shop smoked out, and he was like freaking out, like what the hell's going on? And they just had like soaked all these rags, and you know they didn't really realize that Rubio you only need a little bit, so they'd soak these rags in like Rubio, wiping it in, and they had to just throw them in a pile. Which you think they'd know better because they're mechanics.
Yeah.
And you don't do that with oily rags of any oil kind.
So that's what happened to my wife's uncle this last weekend or like a week ago. Mm-hmm. But he built this farm table. It was like the first thing he built, and he finished the top with boiled linseed oil, and they put the oily rag on top of the open linseed oil in their thing, and they were just in the house, and their daughter came like home and was like, "What's on fire?" Like, what are you talking about? Like, it smells like something on fire. And they go out into the garage, and the garage was just filled with smoke. And it was just like, I didn't even know that. I've used boiled linseed oil before. Yeah. But like, I mean, it's an oily rag, and I just leave it. But it's usually by itself, and it doesn't. You know what I mean?
I don't know where I heard it from. It must have been like right when I started woodworking, because I always make a point to like stretch them out and like drape them over my trash can, or like. But they say you're even supposed to like wash them out with water and let them dry laying out.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. What the solution is? Because I'm sorry.
You're supposed to like.
My neighbor James is the one that told me about it when me and him first started woodworking together, and he would always tell me, he's like, "Don't put those together. It could spontaneously catch fire." I was like, horse shit.
And my buddy had it happen with deck stain also.
Yeah, it'll happen. Like Corey with Dream Makers here in Nashville. He's on Instagram, or he's not in Nashville, Middle Tennessee. He runs a mill, but it happened in his shop, and I think it basically ruined almost every tool in his shop, and maybe the shop itself was completely covered in soot, and it burned up a bunch of stuff. I think he's in the process right now of building a new shop because of it.
That sucks.
But that's what it was from. I was like, that's freaking crazy. How much shop's in my garage? You gotta pay attention to that, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with me too. Yeah, it kind of woke me up about that because I do use that sometimes.
I think, you know what? That would make a good YouTube video. I'm going to research this. I'm going to figure this out, and that would make a good YouTube video.
When do you plan on releasing it? Next week? I'm going to do it Friday, so.
I'm doing it
I've already got
tomorrow.
it done.
I'm going to shave my head so I'm bald too. So they'll think of me.
You guys basically have the same glasses. So
Basically.
Yeah, pretty close.
yeah.
I got to get some new ones.
So do I. Mine are all scratched from the shop.
So
Anyway.
also, according to my comments on my YouTube videos, I'm also going to die from Spalted Maple. So it's good knowing you guys.
What?
Yeah.
Everybody
included that.
thinks that every wood is toxic to your life.
Yeah, I included that in my cutting board with the knife holders. And I just say in the video, yeah, there's some nice spalting in this maple, so I can use this on the outside or whatever. And I literally use the spalting on the outside. But I get into like literal arguments and fights with people on YouTube just because I got nothing better to do while I'm hanging out.
Why? Because
they're
it's
like-
a mold of sorts.
Well, yeah, because
The
they're like, it's a
fungus.
mold. But it's one thing if somebody gets on there and they comment, hey, you really probably shouldn't use, Spalted Maple. It's a mold and it could harm you, but I'm not sure how much you really used or something like that. Most of the time I get the comments of, you're an idiot. Did you not even pass woodworking in 7th grade, you idiot? Like, come on, dude. Seriously?
So aggressive.
Mine's
Yeah.
mostly like, I've done it better on wood glut.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That's a
yeah,
good one.
wood
that's
pricks.
stupid. The wood pricks or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been an hour, so we'll wrap it up. Thanks for listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like us on. Well, actually, go follow us on and subscribe to our YouTube because now we have the video segments in there as well, plus the fun edits. Like last YouTube video, you actually got to see the plane. My video of my kids being Vikings. Friggin' Brandon's video of his boat plane thing, which is kind of cool.
It's a flying boat. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really cool. We're trying to be more interactive on YouTube, so make sure you go subscribe and watch it there. Like us on or review us on the podcast, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyway, thanks guys for listening. Go build something.
You're seamless at that.
That one was a little rough, actually. That was like the roughest one. But thank you.